Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Tenant Farmer. My name is David. I hope you're doing very, very well. You join me here in the last remaining grass pasture that we had. That had not been cut, but it has been now. It's been a week or so since we last spoke to you. We were able to get this knocked down. As you can see, we baled up most of it for silage. Some of it's here, some of it's back down at the yard. And then the rest of it we stuck into a little bit more hay there. So this is the last of it to come off the field. And now all we need to do is think about what the next steps are. We're going to have to connect up with an agronomist just to make sure we are going to keep this in grass for one more year, I think. But yeah, it did okay. Not too bad yield. This is a first year lay, really. It was put down last September. And it came through pretty well. So we'll hopefully get a bit of muck or slurry onto here at some point to continue to fertilize it, which would be great. Left a few bales here. These are likely just going to be sold off to somebody. I don't think we're going to need these ones. So we just left them all stacked up out the way in the corner, and then easy enough to load up when the time comes. But yeah, this hay is pretty good. I'm very pleased with it, to be honest. So we'll take it back over to the yard, get it stacked up. Today we have the first stages of our partnership with a new agronomy firm. They are currently taking a load of soil samples from the fields around the main yard, and they will hopefully be able to tell us where our fields are in terms of the pH levels and the nitrogen-based levels, really, and also give us a bit more of an idea as to what soil we have, so we can plan accordingly. So that's going to be interesting to see. Very curious to see what those results look like. But what we would plan to do today, regardless of what they say, is we need to get a bit of slurry out anyway. So we're going to... The spread is already on the back of the Massey. We're just going to take this load back. We'll start to unload these bales as well. At some point soon, we have to have a bit of shuffle around in the yard. So that we just need to sort a few things out there, but lots to do, and we'll figure it all out in good time, and then we're all set. I think I've sourced a header for my combine, actually, so we can get these sunflowers tackled. They're not quite ready yet. I think it's going to be about another week or so. So whenever they are ready, we'll be able to get those in and get those fields cleared, which will be huge. But that's going to be a fun one to tackle. And then yeah, once that's done, I'm starting to think about turning my attention towards a bit of winter drilling. I've got a contractor coming in soon as well, he's going to be jumping on to a bit of ploughing. We don't have our own plough, so he comes in. One field in particular is a little bit compacted. He might just put a bit of a flat lifter through it, actually, and just pull it all up. But yeah, we don't have our own plough at the moment. The last one we had was an old Lemken 4 there, and honestly, it went away as scrap by the end of the time. It wasn't really good for anything, but that's okay. All right, let's get this off in here. Perfect, easy does it. Last of the bales to be coming in for the year there. It's been a busy old harvest so far. Glad to get everything done, known and taken care of. Hello. Always people walking around this estate. Some of which I know, most of which I have no clue who they are. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take this in. I think as well what we will be doing is topping this field down, because it's all just stalky grass at the moment. There's no real value there to it, so we'll have to take care of that. Now, my plan here, park this about there. Let's see how that looks. Oh, back a couple of feet. Alright then. So we roughly stacked those small square bales. I think the bottom one's about to fall out though, which is going to cause a right old mess. But yeah, they're there. They're probably not going to hang around for too long. There's not as many as I perhaps would have liked. But we only just sell them away to the couple of stables nearby anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, we're just going to get these unloaded quickly. There's the Massey and the slurry tanker ready to go. Love that, Abby. Love that setup as a whole. I think I mentioned in the last episode, but someone was inquiring about whether or not we're going to be looking into a dribble bar. There's a strong chance that in the next year the splash plates will be outlawed. So, and I think yes is the answer. There's a few different options for us to look into that one. I'm kind of studying those options now, and there's a few grants that might be able to assist us there as well. So if that's the case, then we'll of course, we're going to look to take advantage of those as well. But anyway, let's get ourselves back on in here. And if we can get some stone at some point tipped to here to clear out this mud, that will be delightful. It's sticky now because it's a bit drier, but oh, does it get into a right old mess. That's better. It's not quite sitting level. There you go. Alright, so this one shouldn't take too much time for us to empty. There's not too many bales on here, actually. But yeah, nice just to get that all done. It did rain ever so slightly yesterday, so some of these got a little wet. We had to leave them out there today just to kind of dry off a little bit. Didn't want them to sweat when they came in, but they're looking good now. And then we'll be able to, yeah, we're going to be pretty self-sufficient then moving forward. Got everything we need. Okay. So I hope everything is going very well with you, wherever you're watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let us know if you have any comments, questions, or feedback, or if you're working in a similar area. Would love to hear from you. There you go. Try not to send any of these bales flying. That would be a good start. So what we'll do, we're just going to keep pushing through. We'll get these all stacked up. Not going to take us too much longer to do so. And then really we're in a position that we can start to do a bit of slurry. But before that, I think we'll go and just check in to see the work that the agronomist team are doing. We're not to stop or chat to them or interrupt them because they're not here for too long. We've got a bit of a rush on today, so we'll leave them to do their thing. We'll just go say hello and see what their job's looking like. Alright then folks, job done. Always nice to get that one done. We've started to make a few moves around the yard here as well, just to tidy some things up. The square bale has gone back into its home in the corner here. We'll be leaving that around about here for now. Whilst we're here, actually, we'll just connect here. So yeah, that's not going to be moving now for a little while. We'll probably put the tedder in front of it. And then what usually happens is the cleaning feeder will stay around here now. These are the remainder of the bales that we brought home from just over the road there, where we just brought the rest of the silage back from. So yeah, nice little stack here. They're just... I need to have a few here, and then we're looking good. All right, so we're going to have a bit of a look at the soil sampling here and see why we're doing it. Now, all the fields around here on the farm have been tested already, and most of the fields out to the west have as well, specifically the arable fields. So we have a plan around that. Right now, the guys are... You can just see the top of a buggy there. They're currently testing this field here. Obviously, this is a kind of a reclaimed pasture land, really, so very curious to see what the soil quality is like there. But we're going to have a bit of a look into what those results look like today and what that looks like for us and how we're going to use that information. So I'm going to just jump on in to the Defender. I've got a laptop in there which I can access the relevant information for, which is all very exciting. So I'm going to do all that, make sure we have it all set up there, and I will come back to you in just a second once we've got logged in. All right, then here you go, folks. Here is what we're currently working with. As you can see, they're currently just testing this field here. This is our pasture. We've got one more to go and do over there. But what we're looking to see here is the exact makeup of our soil condition, the type of soil that we have there, and the current pH levels of that, and also the nitrogen levels in there as well. So with that in mind, what we'll do is we're going to have just a little bit of a peek down at these fields here. So this is where we've just been collecting the grass. This part of the field here is the grassland. So we'll have a look into these. As you can see, we've got majority silty clay there, but we've also got a band of loam and also a pocket of sandy loam in there as well. So it does vary as you go through. Now these fields, the boundary for this this field here is around about here. Actually, it kind of goes down like that. So it does split up into two. The grassland is mainly all the sandy loam. Now, if we come across, you'll see the pH levels across the board are not great. To be honest, we want to be around 7, which is going to be this this green color, which obviously we're not there. So we need to have a look into that. We need to probably put a bit of lime down there at some point soon, and we'll see if that can really boost everything up there. But for right now, at least, it's not the best. So that can have a bit of an effect on on the quality of anything that you try to produce out of that soil. If we have a look at our fertilizer levels, our nitrogen levels are through the floor as well. Now, you would expect that for this field of hay here, because this is what we've just harvested. So, as a result of that, we have kind of stripped away all the nutrients and pulled them all off the field. So, that is to be expected. We are going to have to build that up because we're about to start drilling again. So, we'll see how that goes. The sunflower crops aren't going to be very good by the looks of things, because that is a very low quality. So, that is probably going to have a bit of a direct effect on the yield. Much the same with the grassland as well. Very barren, very barren. This is the pig field, so we haven't tested that one. But yeah, we are... This little bit of pasture ground here, we're just going to flat lift through and try to improve a little bit so we can get a bit more grass growing off that. But for these grass fields and this one here, this is where we really need to focus a bit of attention. And that's what we're going to do today. But with that being said, we're going to get ourselves out and start to get some slurry onto some of the grasslands here. The 5470 is already set up, ready to go. We've got to load in our Abbey tanker. This is our 2300 gallon high spec. It's a beautiful tanker for what we need. Not too big, not too small. When it's full, it does start to make the front end of the tractor a little bit light, so we have to put the weight on the back of the front. But it's, yeah, otherwise it's all good. Like I say, it does still have a splash plate on there right now, but maybe we'll get to change that at some point. We'll wait and see. But yeah, let's get this beast fired up. Wonderful stuff. And then we can just see about creeping our way out of here, out of this corner. There you go. So the aim is that we're going to get as much of the ground covered around here as possible. It's only the dairy cows here, the suckle cows, that are having any slurry in any vast quantities at the moment. The calves up in the shed up here are all on straw. So we have a bit of a stockpile of farmyard manure coming on up here. But yeah, for the slurry, it's mainly just out that pen down there. And then we'll keep an eye on that one. The calves are looking good. They're adding some good weight on there. They're finishing up quite nicely. But they're going to be with us for another few months yet. Okay, around there we go. Just a couple of bumps that we want to watch out for around here. And yeah, we're looking all good to go. So we'll just jump on in. We're going to go to the field that we build for silage. Start over there. Now, what we also have to do as well, to see if we're putting enough material down there, we do send some of the slurry away for sampling, for testing, just to see if it has a sufficient level of nutrients in there, and to see if there's high enough levels of nitrogen as well. Otherwise, to be honest, you might just be putting water down, and that's not really what you want. You need something which is going to have those key values in. Ooh, that's a bit tight. There'll be one thing I don't like about this gateway is it does drop down, and when you've got a slurry tanker on the back there, that weight can shift in the tanker, and it hasn't happened yet, but you could easily roll down that hill. That is the last thing anybody wants, but we're through. Once we get all this slurry put out and we're finished kind of going through this far field, we'll look to work on this field. Right now it's just kind of been compacted a little bit too much, so it's pointless doing anything to ease that when we know there's still a few more trips to make. Now, these pigs don't usually appear to be too adventurous, but there is a first time for everything. Okay. Awesome, and we're through. Let's whack this on. Now, one thing you need to do when we're going from fill to empty, you just need to come over and change this valve over here, so it actually will start to empty out rather than try and suck more in. But that's looking good. It's nice and clean, actually. It hasn't been this clean in a while. It's always good to get everything washed down after you use it. So let's just go for, I think we're going to be in C2. We'll see how we get on with that one. Alright, looks to be okay. We'll see how we go anyway. We can always revisit it or overlap it if we need to there. That's not a problem at all. But yeah, what we might do is actually just dial it down ever so slightly. Control that speed just a little bit more. That's better. And we are on the slurry, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be the rest of my day, really. We'll have to check into milk later on, but otherwise we're looking pretty handy. Good to get these fields covered again. There's no rain due for the next little while. We had to wait for yesterday's rain to kind of clear out, which it has done. So that's good. And then hopefully there we'll be able to take advantage of this. Got a contractor coming in very shortly as well to start plowing. We should hopefully be able to follow them with a little bit of winter wheat, but before that we need to get some seed. So that's gonna have to get the checkbook out soon and go and get some winter wheat seed picked up. So all in a busy time of the year, but we'll get it all done. For right now though, thank you ever so much for watching. I've been David. I do hope you have enjoyed this. Another insight really into all of the workings going on here on the Tenant Farm. Things are moving on. We're past harvest now really. We're into establishing next year's harvest, which will be good. Looking forward to seeing where that journey goes as well. If you have any questions, comments or feedback, do leave those down below. I'll always get back to you where I can. And if you haven't done so yet already, please do subscribe to Simulation Falls Nation for more. And we shall see you all in the next one. Till then, do stay safe. Enjoy what you're doing as always. And we'll see you in the next one. Catch you later.